So this is the second part to our talking about spirituality, and we wanted to actually just talk about the activities that we did when we were in Church of Christ. So my mom spoke before about the single parent support group that we attended together. What are some of the activities you remember we did together?
The most memorable is the potlucks, when we as single parents could alternate Sundays be in one another's homes.
Yeah.
So we all contribute to the lunch. You host the lunch, and then others bring their choice of meal, and we all sit together and have lovely conversation with the children at the table. We used to have a huge table that you could draw out, and a second table if the children didn't want to be part of this big group. They could just, on the table next door to it, they can join the other younger people, and then the older ones, the mothers would sit at the one table, and we could all
and I remember,
interact.
And I remember like trying to listen to like what the adults were saying, and some of the time it makes sense, and some of the times it didn't.
Yeah, we didn't always.
It was really cute that the adults would try and include us, so like they'd have like card making sections, and there was this one person, Auntie Carmel, who used to love doing craft and then try to get the kids involved. And we even had like, remember the single parent support newsletter? And then the kids,
monthly.
and then the kids could get things featured in there. And I think I wrote a poem, and she put in like word search little thingies and like little activities, so that the kids, like when we did take them, we could at least do something as well, or feel like we were participating. So
And also you could send a poem or write a little letter or an experience you had somewhere during the
really
week,
cute.
then you share that at the Sunday get together.
Yeah.
And we have the meal and the activity after the meal.
So it was really awesome, because we also would go visiting ill people as well, particularly the widows and the single parents. It's always just was more appropriate for single parents to go visit single parents a lot of the time. Not that no one else did, but it was always more. It's like if someone of your own age group goes to visit you, there's just more of a link there. And so I remember doing that as well, which was quite nice. And we went on camps as well. We went away together too.
I just want to share this about the Saturday when we have to have a devotional at somebody's place regarding the pray and Bible lesson at somebody's home. And I often found myself I'm the only one having a child with me. The others were somewhere else on a Saturday afternoon. But I had no choice but to take Tina along with me. And at that time I had a car that she didn't feel that she's blocked in or shut out. She used to sit in the boot with a cushion and a blanket.
Yeah,
and
when I was small enough to be in the boot, which is not now.
She was young, very young. Yeah. And then she would read a book and be occupied by her own activities.
Yeah, actually, and then that gives me a reminder that I used to listen to all the jokes. That is where, like, I used to hear some of the dirty jokes that sisters used to tell. And then, or just like the weird stories. I was like, wow, there's some strange things that have been happening in people's lives. But they were really funny, like Sister Sheldon. Yes, Sister Stella. Sister Sheldon's first name is Margarita, and she used to say, I'm a nibble and a drink. Anyway, that was a very dry joke, but I thought it was very funny. And I used to love that there was this camaraderie around women, and I think that's where I started really developing my sense of that the women can have this beautiful camaraderie, and that they can be fun, you know? They support each other through really intense times. So my mom is not talking about just the sisters group that used to go around.
It was just that prayer group.
The prayer group, not the single parents. It was two different, wasn't it?
No, the single parents was the prayer group.
So I'm really not separate, but they were together.
Yes. So, but it was a Saturday that was used, or a weekday when others were free. say a Tuesday and a Saturday. So when some are not free on the Saturday, we would select a day that others would be available to go out to visit someone that is ill or somebody that was in hospital. I remember many occasions there were times when we had to go and visit somebody that's in hospital, and that was we felt that it's our, as single parents, it was our duty, and we were willing to do that.
Yeah. And I think for me, that was as much as like when you were a teenager and you don't like going to the hospital or going to visit someone, it instills in you not almost like a social responsibility, a feeling of social responsibility that you can't just care about yourself. You need to reach out because at the end of the day, like you could be someone who falls ill, gets into an accident, and you are in the hospital. And it's not just because you're doing it because you want others to do it for yourself, but that we are supposed to be there for each other. And I think that is my main takeaway from being in church and being involved in that community, is that we're supposed to be there for one another. And then we did that in so many ways, and I learned a lot of my skills that I really hold dear now, like to sing in different voices and to love music as well, and the harmony and listening to each other and working together and being helpful and hardworking, my work ethic, and
Your creativity with the
yes,
card making.
exactly. A lot of things were fed while I was in the church community. So I think what I also wanted to touch on, which we'll touch on next, is when I had a bit of a gap away. And that was something, when I say a gap away, is that I didn't attend church, and it actually caused a lot of tension with my mom and I. And that is also what I want to touch on a little as well. But it was something, unfortunately, that I did see happen while I was still in the congregation, yes. And I think I was added to the church when I was about, was it 13 or 14? Around that age. And
I just remember the year, it was 2002.
2002. And I think that was when I was 16.
No,
Was it
you
16?
were
15,
you were in
14.
grade 9.
Grade 9. Okay, so I could have been 14 or 13 around that time. And that's what we'll touch on next, is coming back to God's church.